For 7 years, I performed a life I didn't own. They say money doesn't buy happiness, but it certainly buys a very convincing imitation of it. And for a long time, I was the most convincing thing in the room. My name is Vivienne Ashford-Cole, and to the outside world, I was the success story. I had the gilded life, a high-profile marriage to a man who ruled the trading floor, 2 children enrolled in schools with waiting lists longer than most people's careers, and a wardrobe that felt less like fashion and more like armor. But armor is heavy, and after a while, you start to wonder, what are you actually protecting? In the circles we moved in, the heart of Manhattan's financial district, your worth is measured in numbers: your net value, your portfolio, your postcode, your pedigree, but no one tells you that the most expensive things in life aren't the ones you buy, they're the ones you pay for. With your peace, I remember the night it started to crumble. It wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, there was no explosion. It was quieter than that. It was a whisper, a ledger, a truth I wasn't looking for, but a truth that had been waiting for me. Since the day I said, "But I do," Julian Cole was a man of patterns. He understood the markets because he understood people. More specifically, he understood greed. Not just other people's greed, his own. He was a master of the long game. And in the beginning, that was why I fell for him. I came from a different world. I was the daughter of a schoolteacher from Columbus, Ohio, who put herself through Columbia on scholarships, grit, and the stubborn belief that intelligence was the one currency no one could take from you. Julian's world: old money, connections, effortless access. It felt like solid ground. After years of climbing, his stability felt like a sanctuary. I mistook control for care. I mistook structure for love. Julian didn't just build a life, he engineered one. He curated our friendships, suggested the charities I should share, decided where the children would go to school, even which version of me was acceptable for public consumption. And slowly, quietly, without realizing it, I stopped asking questions. I stopped checking the accounts, stopped wondering about the offshore structures. I was told my role was simple: be the emotional anchor, look the part, hold the image together. I thought I was a partner. I didn't realize where I was a placeholder. It was a Tuesday, an ordinary Tuesday, the kind of day that has no business changing your life. I was looking for my daughter Celeste's passport. We were planning a trip to the Maldives, another perfect scene in a carefully constructed life. The main safe didn't have it. And then I remembered Julian's library, the locked drawer. I knew where the key was. He thought I didn't. The ledger was heavy, not just in weight, in presence. It felt important. I opened it expecting numbers, investments, properties, structures I had learned not to question. But this was different. Names, dates, amounts, precise, careful, controlled. This wasn't wealth, it was silence. Being bought, page after page. Transactions designed not to build, but to bury. Scandals, settlements, secrets. And then I turned to the back, a separate section marked with a ribbon titled simply "The Legitimacy Project." And beneath it, my name, my background, my education, my lack of ties to their world. And beside it, one word: Brandon. Not wife, not partner. Set. Julian Cole didn't marry me because he loved me. He married me because I was useful, clean, presentable, marketable. I wasn't part of the empire. I was the disguise. I wasn't his wife. I was his alibi. Take a breath, because I know what you're feeling right now. And if this story is already speaking to something deep inside you, take a second to like this video, drop a comment telling me where you're watching from, and subscribe to The Unspoken Chapter, where silence is broken and truth finally finds a voice. Now, let's keep going. There is a kind of grief that has no name. It isn't losing someone. It's realizing They were never truly there, and the life you believed in was never real. I put the ledger back, exactly where I found it, locked it, closed it, and then I sat on the floor in the dark, and I didn't cry. No. I was past that. I had reached that place where everything makes sense, and you wish it didn't. I thought about my children, about the life we were living, the trips, the events, the smiles, every moment. Suddenly felt staged. And I thought about the girl I used to be, the one who fought for everything, the one who believed in her own mind. And I wondered what she would say. If she could see me now, the question was no longer, how did I get here? The question was, how do I leave and take what is mine with me? Because Julian made one mistake. He chose me for my strength and forgot that strength cuts both ways. He built his world on silence. I was about to become very loud. I gave myself 3 days. 3 days to feel everything, the betrayal, the humiliation, the years I would never get back. Part of me wanted to scream, to tear every carefully framed photo off the wall, to walk into his office and let him see exactly what he had done. But another part of me, the part Julian never studied, the part he never thought to measure, went completely still. That stillness was not weakness. It was the sound of something shifting. Because Julian had studied systems, but he had never studied me. He assessed me, categorized me, labeled me, but he never understood me. That was his first mistake. I didn't confront him. Emotion is a tell, and I was done being readable. I gave myself 3 days to feel. And then I started thinking, because emotion would have warned him. Strategy would end him. Instead, I became a student of my marriage, of his world, of the system he built. I followed the names, the transactions, the patterns, and within 11 days, I saw everything. The empire wasn't built on brilliance. It was built on concealment. And for 7 years, my name had been the shield. Every appearance, every interview, every carefully crafted image, I had been the face of something rotten. And I had done it perfectly. Every system has a weakness. You just have to find it. Her name was Diana Reeves, and she was not what I expected. She was composed, quietly elegant, the kind of woman who had clearly once belonged to that world and had chosen, at great personal cost, to leave it. She had spent 11 years inside the system, not as a wife, not as an asset, but as an architect. She knew the structures, the language, the invisible walls, built to keep women like us exactly where they wanted us. She looked at me the way someone looks when they recognize a version of themselves. She didn't offer sympathy. She didn't ask how I was feeling. She simply said, "You've seen the ledger." Not a question, a fact. And in that moment, I knew I wasn't alone. She told me everything. The origins of the plan, the truth about the family, the woman who came before me, who had discovered too much and had been silenced, not destroyed, not exposed, silenced legally, quietly, efficiently. She paused for a long moment before she said it, as if she had been carrying the words for years and was finally ready to set them down. I helped them build the cage. The least I can do is help you find the door. I didn't speak. There was nothing left to say, because in that room, with that woman, something that had been broken inside me, quietly, began to rebuild. That night, everything changed. I wasn't alone anymore. And for the first time, I wasn't afraid. Power shifts are never invisible. Julian felt it before he understood it. Something had changed. I had changed. I stopped managing him, stopped softening myself, stopped performing. And he noticed. "You seem distant," he said. "I'm tired," I replied. He studied me, calculated, measured. 7 years, worked in my favor. He chose to believe nothing had changed, but something had. Everything had. And by the time he realized it, it was already too late. 12 weeks. That's how long it took. Not to heal, but to prepare, because This wasn't emotional, it was strategic. We built everything, carefully, legally, precisely. Two paths. One, the divorce, the exposure of everything hidden. Two, the truth, the testimony, the system finally being seen. And on a Thursday morning, at exactly 9:47 a.m., I made my move. The papers were filed, and by the time he knew, I was gone. Not running, not hiding, just gone. What happened next was inevitable. I didn't destroy him. I revealed him, and the truth did the rest. Quietly, at first, and then, all at once, the empire began to collapse, not with noise, but with recognition. And for the first time, I wasn't watching from inside. I was free, the unspoken chapter. People ask me if I regret it, the marriage, the years. No, because I understand now. I wasn't weak. I was human. I mistook being chosen for being loved. I mistook being needed for being known. And that confusion cost me everything. But it also gave me clarity. I was their asset, their solution, their illusion. But now I am something else. I am the truth. My name is Vivienne Ashford-Cole. I was the face of an empire built on silence. And now I am the voice. That ended it. Some chapters are written in silence. Others are written in fire. This one, belongs to her. And if you have ever felt unseen, underestimated, or quietly erased by someone who was supposed to protect you, then this chapter belongs to you too. If this story touched something deep inside you, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and tell me in the comments where you are watching from. And if you believe in stories that reveal what life tries to hide, subscribe to the Unspoken Chapter, where silence is broken and truth finally finds a voice.